Hi friends, we are going to work on Science Chapter 6, Lesson 2 today. Here is our goal. Students will distinguish between weather and climate and will recognize tools used to measure weather conditions. What are weather and climate? Here is a picture of an anemometer. It is what is used to measure wind, and the cups on the pencil would spin as the wind blows them. I will know the difference between weather and climate. I will know how tools are used to measure weather conditions. Words to know: weather, climate, atmosphere and humidity. Why we measure weather. How would you describe the weather today? Weather is what the air is like outside, and I'm going to underline that because it is a vocabulary word. You might say it is too hot or too cold. Someone else might not agree. Words like hot and cold mean different things to different people. You could also describe the weather by saying that the temperature is 34 degrees Celsius or 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Celsius and Fahrenheit are used to measure temperatures. Scientists measure weather so that they can describe its characters exactly. If a scientist reports that the temperature is 34 degrees Celsius, people everywhere can understand what that means. Here is a picture of a thermometer. A thermometer is a tool used to measure the temperature of the air. Do you think this thermometer shows the temperature in the picture? Okay, if you look at the thermometer, so that's about 92 degrees, and since she's playing in water, I would say yes. Weather and climate. Weather includes the kind of clouds in the sky and the amount of water in the air. It also includes the air temperature and how the wind is blowing. You can describe your local weather. Can you describe the climate? Weather and climate are not the same thing. Weather is what the air is like in a place at a single moment. Climate is the pattern of weather in a place over many years. Because that is a vocabulary word, I'm going to underline that. Climate includes an area's average temperature. It also includes the average amount of precipitation. The climate of a place can change, but it takes many years. Weather can change every day. Factors that affect climate. Different places have different climates. The amount of sunlight a place receives affects climate. Sunlight hits Earth most directly at the equator. The equator is an imaginary line that circles Earth halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole. Places near the equator usually have warmer climates than places farther from it. The ocean also affects climate. Places near the ocean often have milder temperatures than places inland. They also may receive more precipitation. Mountains and other landforms may affect climate too. Look at the picture. The west side of the mountain has mild, wet winters. The other side of the mountain has cold, dry winters. Altitude also affects climate. Altitude is the height above sea level. Temperatures at the top of a mountain will be colder than temperatures at the bottom. So here we see more winds blow from the ocean, causing rain or snow on the west side of this mountain range. The air over the east side becomes drier after the rain or snow has fallen. Factors that affect local weather. Have you ever wondered how the weather reporter on Tuesday can predict the weather on Saturday? Scientists study temperature, speed, and direction of wind to predict weather. They measure air pressure and the amount of moisture in the air, too. They also look at wind and ocean currents. Wind currents. The atmosphere is the blanket of air that surrounds Earth. And I'm going to underline that because it is a vocabulary word. This blanket of air is constantly moving. The atmosphere is made up of gases that have no color, taste, or odor. These gases have weight. The weight of the atmosphere presses down on Earth. This pressing down is called air pressure. Moving air is called wind. Heat from the sun, air pressure, and Earth's rotation work together to cause wind. The sun heats up the air in some areas more than other areas. Warm air has less pressure than cold air. Cool air sinks because it has more pressure. This makes warm air rise. Winds form as air flows from one area of high pressure to areas of low pressure. Earth's rotation influences the direction of the flow. Jet streams are fast winds high above Earth's surface. Jet streams can affect local weather by changing temperatures, surface winds, and precipitation. Ocean currents are like rivers of warm and cold water. The red areas show warm currents, the blue arrows show cold currents. Ocean currents. The ocean affects the water cycle and climate. The ocean affects weather too. The ocean can absorb, store, and release vast amounts of heat. Changes in ocean temperatures produce hurricanes, floods, droughts, and other severe weather events. Ocean currents are bodies of water that move in a certain direction. Winds blowing across the ocean surface help produce waves. Waves, in turn, cause currents. Currents affect weather and climate by carrying the ocean's heat from place to place. Tools for measuring weather. Scientists use a number of tools to help them measure and describe weather. These tools also help them predict what the weather will be like. An anemometer measures wind speed. A wind vane shows the direction from which the wind is blowing. Both wind speed and direction affect the weather. Scientists use a hygrometer to measure how much water vapor is in the air. The amount of water vapor in the air is called humidity. I'm going to underline that because it is a vocabulary word. The humidity is low when air is dry. The humidity is high when air has more water vapor in it. A rain gauge measures water too. A rain gauge measures how much rain has fallen. Here is a wind vane. Here's a wind vane. Here is an anemometer. And there's a hygrometer. So there's the wind vane and there's the anemometer. And that looks like it might be a rain gauge. Scientists can measure air pressure with a tool called a barometer. Changes in air pressure are clues to the kind of weather that is on the way. Low air pressure often means the weather will be cloudy or rainy. High air pressure often means fair weather with sun, clear sky. Alright, I would like you to describe to a parent how weather and climate are different. And that's the end of our lesson today. Thank you, friends.